Yo, what's poppin', people? Your boy Snacks is back in the building with another banger. And you know how we do before we get started. You know what time it is. We got to give a shout out to you, the viewer, for taking the time out to watch this video. But while you're here, do yourself a solid, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to turn your post notification bell on because you know what time it is. And you know we will not do a video. We will not start anything without giving a shout out to our beautiful CU1T. So when you see I see you auntie in the chat or in the comment section. Make sure you be respectful at all times, but most importantly, make sure you speak. Acknowledge the ladies when they in the building. You know what I'm talking about? Because they damn sure show all the love, all the support, and we most definitely acknowledge the beautiful CU aunties because they always are in the building. You know what I'm talking about? But the Shedeur Sanders slander is back full throttle. The Shedeur Sanders is not ready to play campaign is back on the market. The Cleveland Browns has sparked it back up. And I know it's them. Because once again, like I told you, that roar, that chant for Shedeur is starting to grow louder again. See, they calmed it the first time. But now with Joe Flacco playing so horribly and them not starting Dylan Gabriel, oh yeah, here we go. And the pressure is going to be on. The pressure is going to mount daily. And in a week or two, it's going to become unbearable because if you don't sit Joe Flacco, the team is going to quit. Those veterans, they're going to stop. But y'all ready? Let's talk about this thing, man. Let's go. It is a known fact that the Cleveland Browns don't want to play Shedeur. Hell, they don't want to play Dylan Gabriel. Right now, Joe Flacco is the man. But sooner or later, 12 has to enter the picture. But to get to 12, we have to go to Dylan Gabriel. And Dylan Gabriel is the next man up on the pecking order of the Cleveland Browns. And as we know through the first 4 games of the season, Joe Flacco has played absolutely terribly, horribly, as a matter of fact. He hasn't shown any consistency. He is moving like an old statue. He's running around like his feet is stuck in quicksand. They are not able, excuse me, to use the complete playbook for Joe Flacco. Why is that? Because Joe Flacco can't move. Because he can't put himself in position to be the best quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. But yet and still, Kevin Stefanski thinks that Joe Flacco gives the Cleveland Browns the best opportunity to win. We have been yet to see that. But the smear campaign and the Shedeur Sanders is not ready campaign was spearheaded by Rex Ryan the other day. It sounded kind of funny to me because it came out the blue and it came out of nowhere and it came with some material or some things that Rex Ryan said that we knew weren't true. Rex Ryan called Shedeur Sanders and said that Shedeur Sanders should be embarrassed that he is not the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. It's not, he can't do anything about that. He said he's not sitting up front when it comes to the meetings and to the classes and to the things that matter inside the building. That was all proven false. Go back and watch my last video. There go the pictures. I'm not even going to put them up this game. But the pictures show Shedeur Sanders sitting in the front of the class, doing all the things that he should do. The Cleveland Browns made a whole entire video series, and it shows Shedeur Sanders doing all the things he should do, even in the classroom. So we would like to know, where did you get this information, Rex Ryan? Or are you just talking out the side of your neck? As a failed head coach yourself, as a bad evaluator of talent yourself, why are you to be trusted with anything you say? Especially when you telling us information that we can easily prove false. And it was proven false, what you said. But this all stems from this right here. It all stems from this room that people actually talk about in a lot of conversations and a lot of commentaries till this day. This legendary room, this entire draft night room that people find despicable. I don't understand it. Because he's promoting himself and who he is. But Kevin Stefanski has yet to start Dillon Gabriel. And as of this week, as the team heads to London to play Minnesota Vikings, 9:30 on Sunday morning, the Minnesota Vikings played in Ireland last week. They are still overseas. They don't have to travel. It's just a boat ride, a plane ride. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump for them to get from Ireland to freaking London. It's a 2-hour flight. It ain't gonna take long. How do I know? Spent a lot of time traveling back and forth from the States to overseas, to Germany, to London, to Ireland, to England, to the UK, to Spain, to all of those places. So yes, I know. And the Browns are leaving tomorrow on a Wednesday, which they should have left on a Monday, to get acclimated to the time change, to the weather, to the fog. It's early fall in London. The weather is crazy. It's unpredictable. Some days it might be foggy, cloudy, kind of chilly. Some days it might be hot, sun beaming at 90 degrees, but you never know. But your body has to adapt in a few days' time. And come Sunday, most of the Cleveland Browns will not be adapted to that change. And they're going to get the brakes beat off of. But Dillon Gabriel has yet to start. And everybody knows Joe Flacco is awful, including Shady McCoy.
Our quarterback is playing god awful. Mm-hmm. So, what do you want me to do? Because I know I can do better than that. Everybody in the stadium's like, yo, Joe Flacco looks like an old, scared man out there in the field. And you telling me I can't get a shot? So, Rex, and I played for Rex, and I love Rex Ryan. Mm-hmm. But it's a matter of like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Now, how you know I ain't studying, though? See, this is the part when they create the narrative, because when an ex-coach of the magnitude of Rex Ryan talks about it, when guys on TV talk about it, when we talk about it, and we create the narrative that, yo, I'm running my mouth, I'm not ready to play, this, that, and that, I'm not studying, that's when the issues come in. Yeah. How do you know that?
Exactly. And if you miss Rex Ryan with all that noise.
Stefanski is one of an outstanding coach, all right?
First of all, let's get that right. Stefanski is not an outstanding coach. He's a 2-time coach of the year for God knows why. But he is not an outstanding coach. He is not an outstanding decision maker. He is not an outstanding adjuster of the football when it comes to playing the game of football. So let's correct that. But that's Rex Ryan's coaching fraternity buddy. So he's not going to speak ill of him. But let's go.
But why the hell isn't he putting Shedeur Sanders? We're all waiting to see the Shedeur Sanders be the guy, or Gabriel, whatever.
And that's where he should have stopped. Why in the hell has he not put Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel in the game? But we're going to go from 0 to 100 real quick, because there's an agenda to achieve.
Something's missing. Something's missing with this kid. This kid talks. He runs his mouth like I could be a starting quarterback with his arms crossed like this. Get your ass in the front row and study and do all that. If I know, the whole league knows.
And that's the narrative they wanted to start. Shedeur is not ready. Shedeur is not studying. Shedeur is not doing the things that he needs to do to start on this team. That's the bullshit they wanted to put in the air. But we already debunked that. We already told y'all that they were full of crap. Shedeur is sitting in the front of the class. Shedeur is doing the things that he needs to do to get prepared. Do not listen to the bullcrap. Don't listen to this man telling you Shedeur is not where he's supposed to be. Because what does that tell you? It looks like Shedeur sitting in front of the class to me. You know, but that's what they said he wasn't doing. You know, he ain't learning. Myles Garrett, Shedeur Sanders, Jerry Jeudy. Shedeur Sanders is not sitting in front of the class, learning, doing his job, studying, doing the things he's supposed to do. But this is the narrative that we're on. Because the Shedeur Sanders voices, the cries and the screams for Shedeur Sanders to get on the field are once again starting to get loud. So you get people like Rex Ryan and Tony Grossi to start talking crazy and saying Shedeur Sanders is not ready for the moment. Shedeur Sanders is a project. Shedeur Sanders is not doing the proper things to prepare to be ready to start. We know you're a lie because we've seen it. You said that in preseason when he didn't get no first team reps, he didn't get to practice with the players that he was going to play with to start the preseason when he had to start the opening game. You said he couldn't do all the pre-snap things, but during that game, there weren't no pre-snap penalties. He went out and played an amazing 3 quarters, played great, played 10 times better than anybody thought he would. Then Dillon Gabriel showed up the next game, played okay, threw 2 picks, but we don't hear about that. A pick 6 and another pick. And a fumble. But we don't hear about what the bad things that would cost people games. That's why they can't start Dillon Gabriel. Because if they start Dillon Gabriel, they have to move to Shedeur once Dillon Gabriel plays horribly. And then you get the people what they want. And then Shedeur gets to show out and disprove all of those false narratives that you've been putting out on the airwaves about him. And that's not what we want. We want to keep up with our plan. Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski. We want to be able to move on from Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel and look to the future for next season to get the quarterback that we think that we need, who is also unproven. But you have 2 quarterbacks that you drafted that are in-house. You don't want to see what they got. You don't care because your mind is made up that this is our plan. We're going to move on to next year. So now Tony Grossi, freaking Rex Ryan, also Zach Jackson out here spewing the Shedeur Sanders is not ready. Shedeur Sanders is out here just talking to be talking. Tony Grossi
had a camera he didn't like. And it just seems like being out of the limelight right now as QB3 on a Cleveland Browns team struggling to score points. He's really missing the viral moments. I laugh about it because I don't take him too seriously anymore. After that Rams game, I need evidence that he could play.
So after the Rams game, you need evidence that he could play. Well, tell your head coach to start him. Because that's the only way you get the evidence you need. The only way you get to see what you say he can't do is for him to play now. because there is no more preseason. There is no more warm-ups. This is real war right now. This is full season football, big boy style. But you sound like Rex Ryan.
Quit being an embarrassment that way. You got the talent to be the quarterback. You should be. You should be embarrassed that you're not the quarterback now.
We'll see if they make a change there. And
Oh, so he's an embarrassment. He should be that way.
Little beef to pick with Rex Ryan after what he said about Shedeur Sanders. He is in no position to talk about Shedeur Sanders. Okay, Rex Ryan has now had multiple chances to be successful in the NFL, and he blew it. He should have been in the film room longer. He is the laughingstock. Okay, when he was with the New York Jets, his entire career was marked by the butt fumble. And then he comes with the Bills. He comes in, says he's going to win the Super Bowl, tries to get the entire city behind him, and he absolutely flopped on his face. Rex Ryan, you are a clown. Shedeur Sanders is a better man than you, so don't ever talk about him again. Keep Shedeur Sanders' name out of your mouth, Rex Ryan.
And that video is courtesy of the boys of Lawn Chair Sports, because the campaign to slander Shedeur's name is on to disprove that they need to play him. They've even brought in one of their wily veterans, one of the best, one of the most trusted voices in Cleveland sports when it comes to Browns football. Zach Jackson was on the bullpen with Bull, and this is what he had to say.
It's going to be Flacco or Gabriel. And then if they did get to an emergency situation, my opinion, not anybody telling me this, reading the tea leaves, is that Shedeur Sanders is nowhere near.
Can you imagine the fan reaction if that happens? I know they don't care about that, but
yeah. Well, that just shows the disconnect that this team in reality. Yeah, really, it is. Yeah. You know, if Shedeur was, all right. Well, let me just say this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, guys. Tyler Shuck went 40th in the draft. Right.
Yeah.
They won't play him.
Nope.
He can't play. It was a disaster from the start. He's 26 years old, right? Shedeur did not go for over 100 picks later. So if any team thought that Shedeur was anywhere near ready to play, because 11 to 18 teams have no starting quarterback that they want to roll with, right? Wouldn't he have gone 50 to 100 picks earlier?
Probably,
even if you hate his dad, even if you thought he was immature, even if there were holes in his game that made him not a first-round talent, he didn't go in the second round. He didn't go in the third round. He's nowhere near ready to play.
So they brought out the big guns to try to quell the noise for Shedeur Sanders. They tried it, but you got to start with that little guy first. Because see, you're not going to skip over him because he's a third round pick. He's valuable to you. But in order for this process to work, Tony Grossi, Zach Jackson have clearly started the campaign. Rex Ryan was the author of the campaign. So the Shedeur Sanders is not ready campaign is back on the market for 2025. But the source had one of the best responses to what Zach Jackson and Tony Grossi have been spewing out of their faces. And it reads, we're going to put it full screen for you. Replying to ESPN Cleveland, the source, Zach Jackson and Tony Grossi say Shedeur Sanders is nowhere near ready. Where's the proof? There is none. No film, no numbers, no snap counts. He isn't playing. So that evidence doesn't exist. To make the claim anyway is bias, not analysis. Quarterback is a practice. Like law or medicine, it develops through preparation, repetition, and growth. No lawyer wins every case, no doctor cures every patient, and no quarterback is flawless every week. Quarterback play changes week to week for many reasons. Defensive schemes, game plans, and matchups. It is not an exact science, and anyone pretending otherwise is exposing their own ignorance. Meanwhile, every Sunday, we see quarterbacks so ineffective that games are unwatchable. That is proof. If their standards of not ready mattered, half the league would be unemployed. But they stay silent on that reality because it destroys their narrative. The verdict is simple. Without evidence, their words are empty. The only thing nowhere near ready is their credibility. And that is the source. You figure, deal me? And that is a perfect analysis of everything they're trying to say. Because there is no evidence that Shedeur Sanders is not ready. Only thing we've seen so far is that Shedeur Sanders is ready. The moment is not too big for him. He knows this offense. We've seen him do it in preseason when he had good players around him. Not in that third game when he had the trash cans. So their argument is putrid. It's unrealistic. It's not even credible. We can't listen to the Browns that's trying to tell them to tell us that Shedeur Sanders is not ready. Because for every time they say this, what do we see? Shedeur Sanders somewhere working on his game. Shedeur Sanders studying his game. And for those of us that have watched Shedeur Sanders from high school until now, we know you lied. Because he studies relentlessly. He studies his playbook. He studies film. He practices all the time. So you can't tell me he is not ready. Your argument is dead on arrival. Your argument has no foundation. Your argument lacks substance. Show me that he is not ready. Where can you show me that Shedeur Sanders is not ready for the moment? You can't. So until they put him in the game, stop saying he's not ready. Say they don't want to play him because they know what happens when he takes the field. That's what you need to tell your fans. That's what you need to tell the people that's watching. They're not ready to play him. They don't want him to get on the field. Cleveland Browns don't want to be good. Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry don't want to be wrong. They want to be right because they think they're smarter than everybody else because they have Ivy League educations, which ain't worth a damn. So what? It is what it is. It just means you paid a lot to go to college when everybody else did. Same education, same knowledge, same teaching factors. It just helps you get better jobs when you get out of school. That's about it. Education is education. If you know the material, you know the material. There's no difference in that fact. The math equation is not going to answer itself differently because a Harvard professor wrote it, or MIT professor wrote it, or an Alabama professor wrote it, or a community college professor wrote it. If it's the same equation, the answer is the same. No matter which professor wrote it on the board. It's just the school that you come from. But anyway, man, we on here 24 minutes. We getting out of here. We've been loud and long. Don't forget to do your boy solid and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. The Shedeur is not ready campaign has begun, and they're going to sing it loud and long to try to trick everyone into thinking that Shedeur Sanders is not ready when he has already told you that, hey, I got the cheat code to this offense. I know what I'm doing. Why? Because that's the same offense I ran at Colorado. I know it. The names are different. The verbiage is different. The lingo is different. But other than that, the plays look the same to me. I told y'all before. If you put Colorado's plays on top, on tippity top of Cleveland plays, you will see the same thing. Because they run the same offense. I've done it. It's the same freaking offense. It's the same freaking plays. That's why Shedeur is better than everybody else. But Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry cannot put him out there and let y'all know that. Because then that makes them wrong for drafting Dylan Gabriel. The source is right on everything they said in this doggone post right here. Zach Jackson and Tony Croce are falsely accusing Shedeur Sanders of not being ready. They are leading the charge. But anyway, man, y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all for watching. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace out.